Hello there, Kenobi. Welcome back to Return of the Nerd. Hit that subscribe button. Do it now. Do it now. No, just do that now. Okay, thank you. So, it's the end of the year, and it's the beginning of the year. I'm recording this on January the 1st. So, Happy New Year to everybody, and it's going to be a really good year this year. 2023. Can't believe it's 2023 already. 2022 was like a real roller coaster ride for me personally with the business, trying to keep, it's like the Millennium Falcon, like everything's, I'm going, Chewie, stick that back on, give me the Hydro Spanner, like trying to keep everything together. So it's that time again, right, where YouTubers will talk about what were their favorite figures of the year. So you get like a countdown, like top 10 Black Series, top 10 TVC figures of the year, or maybe the worst figures of 2022, which I always think is quite amusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly go through the top selling figures of 2022. So these are not necessarily figures that I think are any good. All right, I might not even like these figures, but they sold really well on my store. Okay, for whatever reason. So I chose the top 5 for the Black Series and the top 5 for the 3.75. Okay, so the first one is number 5 for, we'll do Black Series first. Number 5 was the Dark Times Imperial Officer from Andor. And again, I don't know why this guy was more popular than the other. Is like the other, there was the 4 in 1 set, right? And this one, I just had to keep going back to Hasbro and ordering more and more cases. It was getting ridiculous, and even now I'm still getting requests almost every week. I'd say every week I get like quite a few requests for him. Do you have any more? Do you have any more? I'll see what I can do. And yeah, so he was number 5. Number 4 was Commander Krill, and he was the comic line, the publishing line, and there's going to be an addition to the team, right? We've got is it Mike? He's coming up really soon, so people like that one. I actually I did a survey on my channel. I really like the community tab on YouTube, and I've been using it quite a lot recently just to interact and get feedback from my viewers. So I did a quick survey. I said I listed 4 of the big troopers that came out this year and said, like, you can only choose one. We got the 187th, the Walmart, which no one could find, Commander Krill, the 13th Battalion Clone Trooper, and the Purge Trooper. So which one came out on top? The Purge Trooper, almost 50%, okay? 50%. Then second place was Commander Krill. He came in at like 29-30%. Then it was the 13th Battalion, 11%, and then the 187th, 10%, all right? So the Purge Trooper being a fan favorite, that wasn't a shock, okay? So let me go through the rest of the list. So we got Dark Times Officer, Commander Krill, and then at number 3 was the Walmart 187th Clone Trooper. I sold tons of those, and I think that was just simply because he was an exclusive. People found him really difficult to locate. I got lucky because I had a really good source, and so I just kept supplying them. And sometimes it's not about the figure itself, like how good it is or how popular it is. It's just about, because it's so hard to find these figures anyway, under normal circumstances, it's like, do you even have a source? Next one, number 2, was the Kenobi Tibidon Station. Sold really well. And I think that's because this year Hasbro did the right thing in terms of the release schedule. We had 2 brand new shows this year, like we had Andor and we had the Kenobi one TV show. And so I think that they did a real good job of getting those figures out on time. So for the Kenobi show, every week on a Tuesday while it was running, we would see like, here are some more figures in both lines, and then like they would arrive, pretty soon after, and they were included in like the the upcoming waves as well after the show, which is great. Because I really hate it when the waves have nothing to do with the Star Wars content that you're actually watching. It's like, what's the point? And the waves are always there's such a mix of like Star Wars media. So I really hope that Hasbro can move away from that model and sort of just focus on all the new stuff, you know, like, so for example, in 2023, we've got 3 major shows, right? We've got the Bad Batch, Ahsoka, and The Mandalorian Season 3. So what I would want to see is, I want to see all of those Bad Batch figures, you know, at least like 8 of them. I want to see the images. I want to see them get released, like when the TV show is on. You know, not have to wait 6 months to a year, you know, after you've already seen the actual TV show. And the same thing with Ahsoka, and the same thing with The Mandalorian Season 3 as well. And then with the rest of the figures from other content, okay, I think you can put them into like another line, or include it as an anniversary figure, or you can have it as a Comic-Con convention figure. But just, I know this in 2023, I think there's not going to be any archive series figures at all, which I think is a good thing, because we got the Return of the Jedi anniversary, so there's going to be a ton of stuff in both scales for that. And also because last year was supposed to be Attack of the Clones anniversary, 20 years, and we got nothing. So Hasbro are trying to like make up for it, and they've said that they're going to give us some nostalgic Clone Wars action figures. Yeah. So there, and then the top one, number 1, coming back to my list, was the Purge Trooper. So the Purge Trooper was ridiculously popular. So I think the Purge Trooper, I think like the Purge Trooper overall was a popular figure, a good figure, and it wasn't just because I happened to find a steady source of cases from Hasbro. I think worldwide that the Purge Trooper probably was the #1 best-selling Black Series figure of the year. So they're my top 5 for the Black Series. TVC, number 5, let's count down backwards. Okay, so we had the Dark Trooper, the Deluxe. Okay, that was number 5. Number 4 was Axe Woves. Number 3 was the Ahsoka Deluxe. So I've actually got 2 deluxe boxes on this list. And this is like, I'm wondering in 2023, like, are Hasbro going to continue with this, doing the deluxes? I think these are a much better idea. I think that the army builder packs actually go down a lot. I think that the collectors appreciate the army builder packs more than this, because I get a lot of complaints, you know, negative feedback about these, about how you don't really get much for your buck, you know. And we had like 3 or 4 of those this year, and they're just like, okay. And but these sold really well, you know. And actually put one guy mentioned on my community tab, he's like, I just really hope that Hasbro can keep doing the army building packs and just coming up with all different characters, because it's really such a no-brainer. It's such a win-win situation. Like, you can, what, okay, Purge Troopers army builder pack, go, boom, there's 4 of them, you know. There's so many characters that you can choose from in, you know, that have already previously been released as well. They don't have to be doesn't have to be like a brand new mold or some brand new character. So one person did mention Death Watch, and I was like, oh, and I started like salivating out the side of my mouth. I was like, wow, 3.75 inch army building Death Watch pack. That would be the bee's knees, man. So yeah, I think that Hasbro's onto a winner there with the army builder packs, but I'm not sure if the fans, the collectors, are really, I don't feel like their heart is like 100% into these deluxe packs. So we'll see what happens in 2023. I don't know. If it's not popular, maybe Hasbro will pull the plug on it and change it to something else, or we'll see. So then, yeah, Dark Trooper, Axe Woves, Ahsoka Deluxe. The second most popular figure in my store was the R2-D2 with the sensor scope, Empire Strikes Back card back. That was really cute. And then number 1, which I think is pretty obvious, right, was the Boba Fett Morak figure, which I got a ton of. Again, I was really lucky with the supply. I struck gold. We've struck oil. And I sold a ton of them, and I didn't mark them up too much because for that's kind of one of my principles, and also my business model is based on I want collectors to be able to get the hard to find figures on time at a reasonable price, even though I know you guys have to pay shipping fee because, you know, all of the products are coming from Taiwan. But I still don't want you to feel like Jesus Christ, man, because so many times people go on eBay because A, they're impatient, or B, it's frustration, they can't find what they want, and they just end up paying like an arm and a leg, and they're like, God damn it, why did I do that? I just don't want people to keep going through that experience. So the Bobas, I know the collectors who got the Boba Morax, oh my god, they were just like, they were so appreciative. And I kept one for myself as well. It was really, really nice. I actually sold a lot more of those than do you remember the Boba Fett, the very first, was it the very first deluxe TVC? This one that came out was like the Boba Fett with the Stormtrooper helmets, right? The card back was way more popular than that. So yeah, they were my top 5 for the TVC. Right, so moving on. A lot of people still asking me, like, have you got anything new? Anything come in yet? And the answer is not yet. But it's January, and we've got 3 and a bit weeks until Chinese New Year. So I'm like absolutely just praying on my hands and knees that Taiwan Hasbro will release all of those new items before because Chinese New Year is like really long. It's like 10 days of nothing, and everything's shut down. So I won't be able to ship. I won't be able to contact Hasbro or any of my suppliers. It's really annoying. So I just found that in Singapore, like, I have a buddy in Singapore who's like me. He's like a small independent online retailer, and he's just put an order in for let me have a look here, the speeder bike, TVC speeder bike, and also the new wave of 6. Okay, so he's put an order in for those. And then in terms of 6 inches, Scar Trooper Mike, and we've got Mara Jade, we've got Dr. Aphra, cool, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Return of the Jedi card backs, and also the Boba Fett one too, from the, remember before, the Boba Fett Deluxe. So that's in total, that's 6 for the ROTJ card backs. So it's quite a lot just to, you know, to be released in the first month of the year. Alright, recently, because I put a shorts video up on my YouTube channel, we were talking about this guy here. We were talking about the new Luke from The Mandalorian, and I did an unboxing of him, and also Luthen Rail. In fact, most of the figures now from that wave, I think I'm done with reviews and unboxings. But yeah, so my friend Eric P in the UK, big shout, and he's been really supporting me. He gave me some images from it just seems forever ago now. The Rancor, I nearly said Hancor, the Rancor HasLab, that project which just didn't get off the ground. And do you remember we got like a lot of 3D rendered images, and one of them was Luke, and they said like, this is one of the tiers, you're going to get Luke, and we were like, yay. And then everybody was asking for I can't remember the name of the dancer, the sexy dancer, and everybody wanted Ula. Is it Ula? Everybody was like, oh, where's Ula? And then, no, we're not going to back this. And the Luke, I think the card back was like, I'd really like that. It's a Star Wars Power of the Force with the coin card back, which, man, that looks beautiful. But you can see how the Luke was kind of based on the previous Return of the Jedi Luke, right? He's got the same kind of cloak, but he's got the new face sculpt. And I know that it does say, whenever Hasbro release something new, at the bottom they cover themselves. They say, you know, like, digitally rendered images shown, product may vary, you know, in final production, pending license approval, etc. You know, subject to change. So I thought that was interesting. And that Luke, he's not wearing the black glove either. So we ended up with a modified version of that for the, what's it called again? The Imperial Light Cruiser Luke. So now he's part of the Mandalorian line. And what my friend Eric did was he got the 3 Lukes that we have so far. Blue Series, the really, really old one from back in like 2013, and then the ROTJ Luke, and then this one from this year. And he put all 3 together and took some wonderful smashing pictures of them to like just to show everyone the differences. And what Eric did was he decided, you know what, sod it, I'm just going to cut my new Luke's cloak to make him look like, you know, it's just like over his shoulders. He took a pair of scissors and unstitched it. It looks quite good actually. And yeah, you can see like there's a very clear difference between the 3. And I still feel that the cloak and the body for the Imperial Light Cruiser Luke is like really nice. It's the best one. But I'm really like, the face sculpt is not that great. That's just my own personal opinion. I think the one in the middle from the ROTJ figure is like a better face sculpt, so I'd like to switch that up, or even to pay someone, you know, you can have a custom you know, head sculpt made for you. Actually, he also took the Luke that came out in the publishing line. Do you remember the one with the the lizard that's around his neck? Do you remember that? Was it Grand Admiral Thrawn uses this creature because it, you know, it basically protects you from Force users. I can't remember the name of the creature, but anyway, it comes around Luke's neck, and Luke has like, he's wearing the black outfit, but he's got like the arms cut here, so it's like a black vest. And my friend Eric he kit bashed it, so he gave it some extra paint, and he put like a nice brown holster on there with you know, so he can hook the lightsaber hilt onto it. He gave him the yellow gloves, the flight gloves from, I think it's from the Han Solo figure, and it looks wonderful. I really like that. So 2023, I'm gonna attempt to do a bit of kit bashing and customizing, just slowly, like baby steps, because you know, this year I've been like seeing so many fantastic figures from all the other content creators, and also especially 3D printing. 3D printing is just becoming, one day it's just going to become the norm, and everyone's going to have a 3D printer in their house. And you know, I've been hooked on watching Land Speeder Luke, and now if I get enough money, I'm definitely going to invest in a 3D printer. I'm just going to try it out and see if I can do it. At the moment, I'm a little bit hesitant because of lack of funds, and also I don't know if I really understand it. I'm not really good with technology, okay? I'm 50. Right, let's go back to the TVC again. So today we got some in-hand, like really close-up pics from, I don't know who they're from though, because I managed to get these from Yakface on Instagram and on his Facebook page, and it's 2 figures. It's the in the new set of 6. Velsafa and also Cassian, and man, Cassian looks really good. And I was looking at my own Cassian today, and I was checking like, well, how does the 3.75 differ? And to be honest with you, yeah, it looks better, because the jacket on the Black Series one is very kind of a much darker burgundy red wine kind of color, kind of feel to it, and I don't know which one is more authentic to how it actually comes across in the TV show, but I know that like just looking at these pictures that were posted on Yakface Instagram, that the paintwork looks better on the 3.75. It's more of a browny color, but you've got like the darker patches, like for the elbows and the collars, which is like a dark brown, and the rest of it's a much lighter brown, but you've got that nice contrast of the browns, so it shows up. Whereas you can see here just on my camera, I mean, I'm using lots of LED lights for my studio here, but it's really hard to notice. It just looks like it's all one color, but it's not one color. So that was like a little bit of a disappointment for the Black Series Cassian. Also with the TVC face sculpt, I think that his hair and also his beard looks a little bit better as well, and the color is much darker. It's almost black, which is how he really looks in the show, the actor. But the one thing that I noticed which was better on the Black Series is his knee joint, because it's got the pinless joints. Here, when you bend his knee, you see this part here, the joint. It's black, right? So the whole of his knee here is all the same color, which is great. You want that, right? But on the TVC, the pants come down and they're like a kind of let me see, are they like a brownie color? And then it goes into like the knee area, which is like black, but then they still got the brown part because that's part of the joint, which is kind of looks weird. So that's the only thing. Velsatha looks great. I like her. I like the eyes and the hair, and the AK-47 looks wicked. And I think it's got the foldable stock. I've mentioned that before. I really don't care that it looks like an AK-47. Okay, I really don't care about that. Yeah, I just think she looks really cool, and it's good to have some. I think the Andor figures are, because they're all human, and Andor was like, it was just this really gritty drama. So there were no like Darth Mauls or like really extreme like alien characters in it or anything. So like most of them are just like humanoid characters with very bland, plain outfits. So I think Andor's doing quite a good job, you know, taking that and then putting it into an action figure and then making the collectors go, okay, that's kind of cool, I'm gonna collect that. It's not easy. I mean, it's so like Darth Maul, it's like how it's so easy just to like, here's a Darth Maul figure, oh yeah, I want it. Every time Darth Maul comes out, it doesn't matter what version you get of him, he's always just like, and it's gone, boom, you know? So I think hats off to Hasbro for this one, because some figures, I think especially with Star Wars, with the human figures, their outfits, you know, are kind of bland, and I think it's hard to get to sell them. It's hard to make the collector feel like, oh, I really want that. Okay, I'm going to do a big shout out to the admin in the Facebook group for France, and his name is Axel. He's a really cool guy, really knowledgeable on the Black Series, and recently we were talking about lightsabers, like the hand grip and the way that I had a problem with my my Luke video. I did a shorts video. I was putting him into different poses. I did like in total I think I did about 60 poses, and then like half of them I didn't have time to put in. But his hands don't do this, you know, they don't turn from side to side. There's no hip, but they only go round, and it's what if you have someone holding a, let's say like a staff or a baton, something really long, a spear like Beskar spear or a lightsaber, then it becomes very difficult for them to get into these combat action poses. So I like what he did. He basically went and looked at all of his figures, and he was like, which one's got the most, you know, flexible shoulder joints, the most flexible elbows, and the most, you know, flexible wrist joints, you know, and it turns out that the biker scout figure is really good. I think he's using the one that is from the Gaming Greats from the video game. It's Jedi Fallen Order. So he comes with the baton, the electro staff, right? But yeah, these pictures are just amazing, and the next video I make with a Jedi, or you know, like a dark side Force user, I'm definitely going to try to imitate some of the poses that Axel has done here, because they look wonderful. Okay, finally we have to talk about the Bad Batch. Okay, so this video I'm talking right now is January the 1st, okay, so it's New Year's Day, and I'm just like, honestly, I don't really give a shit about New Year's Eve. I was just thinking, Bad Batch Season 2. I was really, it's like, come on Wednesday, come on man. It all starts again on Wednesday, let's do this. So we've got some interesting posters that have been released. of the different characters and how they look in this second series. They look different, so I'm hoping that Hasbro is going to pump out those action figures like they did with the Black Series. You know, they did really well with the Black Series, and but they utterly failed when it came to TVC, and I can't get my head around it. But anyway, we've got 16 episodes, and I think they're going to do the same thing. Like the first couple of episodes will be like super long. I think that, like, yeah, January the 4th we can watch episode 1 and episode 2, and then in the middle, on February the 8th, we've got episode 7 and episode 8 put together in like a long featurette. And then finally on March 29th, we've got the last 2 episodes, 15 and 16, they're put together too, so we can have this nice, long, climactic ending. So I'm just like so pumped right now for the Bad Batch.
I don't believe it. That's Clone Force 99.
People keep asking me that question, what was your, Gary, what was your favourite Black Series figure of the year? There were a couple. I really like the Migs Mayfeld because I just really like that episode of The Prisoner in season 1 of The Mandalorian, and I was really pissed off that we didn't get that version of Bill Burr first. We got the Morak version with the and then so I was really happy to get Migs, and then I thought that this guy was like really good as well, you know. And I'm a bit of a sucker for the droids. I like the droids. I quite like the HK, the Hunter Killer droid, and what was the other one? The Republic Security droid. This year, actually, when I say this year, I mean 2022. There were some like pretty decent droids that came out. I'm hoping that in 2023 we can get some astromechs, because it's high tide. You know, like, when was the last time we got an astromech in the Black Series? It was, I mean, I don't even have an R2-D2 in my collection. I have a C-3PO because I got him in the Archive series, and now he doesn't have a friend.
Oh, nice to see a familiar face. Ichuta. How rude.
Alright, that's it. That's enough gossip. Happy New Year, everybody. And I shall see you in the next one. And this year's going to be big. I can feel it.
The Death Star plans are not in the main computer.